Welcome to This Just In with This Just In as your host, Justin Core. This is a show where we take a deeper dive into the stories most important to you with the people who bring you those stories. Our correspondents, if you will. Get it? And our correspondent today, Audrielle Tackett, or Audi, whatever you prefer. I'm confused every time.
I know.
I throw to you. Which do you prefer?
I don't have a preference over either. I like either one. I
Okay.
know friends usually call me Audi, so
Okay.
you can call me Audi.
That means I'm a friend.
Yeah.
Or friendly, at least. I'll take it.
Yes.
Audie, you're a news expert. You're a weather expert and a fashion expert. And you have some exciting news to share, right?
I do. I am now a full-time weather anchor here at KTVB. Could not be happier. This is something that I've been filling in for a while now, and I think a lot of the viewers may have thought that I was fully doing it, but
Already
now it is
permanent, yeah.
officially official, and I'm so excited. I'm still going to be doing some stories here and there.
Nice.
And yeah, I've been here a little over a year now, so it's very exciting to be promoted.
Flies.
I know.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, we are all over the moon to have you as a permanent weather person. You do a spectacular
you.
job, and just happy to hear that when I saw that in the old inbox. Now, I talked to you recently. You said you love doing weather.
Yeah.
Why?
I really love being able to let more personality show, but I also am really interested in weather because I've never been a science-y person. I've always been more of a writer person or like language, English.
Sure.
That was my thing throughout school. So now I'm learning a little bit more science and some more atmospheric chemistry with the stories I'm doing in Environment Northwest. So it's just a whole different world that I'm entering in right now, and it's super interesting.
Yeah, but using the art of communication
Totally.
to bring that to people.
Yep.
Speaking of which, you did a story on the effects of wildfire smoke. We're going to see that in a second.
Yeah.
Can you set it up for us just real quick?
Yeah, so this is a story that I did for Environment Northwest, the franchise that we do, and it is looking into how wildfire smoke is actually changing the chemistry in our atmosphere, in the air that we breathe, and how it does matter more than just having smoky skies in the summertime. You know, we think of it as a summer nuisance, but it really does have a bigger impact than that long term. And so just taking a deeper look into what that means, what that does.
All righty, thank you. Go ahead and roll it.
When you think of wildfire smoke, you probably think about what it looks like or what it smells like. But what if I told you it can actually change the chemistry of our air near the ground and far beyond surface level, tens of thousands of feet above us?
During the summer and fall seasons, wildfire smoke can plague our skies.
The stronger the fire is, the stronger the heat flux is, the higher the plume can go.
Rajesh Kumar is a deputy director at the National Science Foundation's Center for Atmospheric Research. Based in Colorado, he studies weather patterns and climate shifts around the world, including right here in the Pacific Northwest.
We are going to see very, very high particulate matter level near the wildfires, and probably that becomes a dominant pollutant in the Pacific Northwest.
As smoke rises, it enters different layers of the atmosphere. Near the surface, it mixes with sunlight and other pollutants. That reaction creates ground-level ozone, often called the bad ozone.
During the wildfires, then when we burn the biofuel like the trees, the grass, and other things, they emit a lot of species like carbon monoxide, nitrogen oxides, volatile organic compounds. And these are called ozone precursors. So sunlight is crucial. Then the reactions in the presence of sunlight, they lead to the formation of ground-level ozone.
And the hotter the weather, the more likely pollution will build up, right where we live and breathe. But the process doesn't end there. Some wildfire smoke plumes, especially from large or long-lasting fires, are strong enough to reach the stratosphere. National Weather Service meteorologist Jay Breidenbach says he's seen this before.
When we get these really hot fires that creates a more robust smoke plume, and that can carry it much higher. Some of the fires that we saw around Idaho last year had pyrocumulus clouds, and these are like thunderstorms that the fire is creating, and sometimes that can carry smoke 40, 50,000 feet in the air.
Once in the stratosphere, smoke behaves differently. Under certain conditions, it can help break down the good ozone layer, the one that protects us from harmful ultraviolet radiation.
If the ozone layer is not there, then these harmful ultraviolet radiation, they would come down to the surface and affect human beings. So that's why that is called good ozone, right? Because it is protecting us, it is necessary for our survival.
This interaction doesn't happen with every fire, but as wildfires grow more extreme and frequent, the risk to the stratosphere increases.
I would say over the last decade we have had more episodes of smoke in the Pacific Northwest, here in Idaho as well. It seems like every August through the middle of September we run into these really smoky times here in the Pacific Northwest, and that is more than it was, say, 20 years ago.
From the ground, wildfire smoke may just look like a hazy sky. But up here, this Doppler radar helps scientists see what our eyes can't. This major tool watches the sky in layers, how smoke climbs and travels through the atmosphere, among other things, which helps scientists predict how the smoke will move next.
These models take into account how hot the fire is and how much smoke it's producing. So I think, as we go into the future, we're going to see those types of models change. They'll get higher resolution, they'll get even better at predicting how the smoke is going to move.
All of this matters because ozone pollution can lower air quality and be harmful to health. The bottom line is wildfire smoke isn't just a problem for the Pacific Northwest or just for summer. It's a growing issue that starts with fire and ends with chemistry high above our heads and right where we breathe.
We know how it's impacted our generation. We know that we have more smoke now, over the last decade than the decade before. So those are real impacts. It certainly impacts people, and I just think it's going to impact society more and more as we go further into the future.
So you talked about bad ozone in this piece, but we need ozone in the atmosphere.
Yes.
So is ozone just bad if it's in the wrong spot?
Yeah, in short, yes.
Okay.
Ozone at ground level, surface level, or really high in the atmosphere is made up of the same elements. So the composition is the same, but it does matter where it is. If we're breathing it, that's not good. But if it's high in the atmosphere, that is actually protecting us from harmful UV radiation. Otherwise, those UV rays would be too strong for us to handle.
Gotcha.
But a lot of times when we see that air quality is bad and there's no wildfire smoke, that's from too much ground level ozone.
Oh, interesting.
So it does have an impact on the air quality we breathe. It's two separate ideas for ozone, even though it's made up of the same thing.
Same thing,
Yeah.
Problem here, not as much of a problem
Yes.
up there. You talked about wildfire smoke. Wildfires, though, natural.
Yeah.
I am not a scientist like you are now, full-time weather person. Wildfires, they found out a number of years ago, it's sort of part of a natural health of a forest. What makes these wildfires that we've seen more recently so harmful to people and the atmosphere?
Yeah, well, it's a problem when they burn for so long and become so big because at that point they can start to get pyrocumulus clouds, which are almost like thunderstorms within a fire because of the massive plumes of smoke that are pushed out from these wildfires. So it can reach so high, it can go into the stratosphere, as we just saw a little bit of in that story. And that's when it can start to break down the good ozone high up there that's protecting us from UV.
So wildfires sort of getting bigger, worse, burning for longer, and that's
Yes.
the problem.
And year over year, the longer they burn, the more fires we have. It's not cleared out of the atmosphere as easily, or like pollution, I should say, is not cleared out of the atmosphere as easily. So it does have some type of buildup in the long term as well.
You talked about smoke affecting people's health. How does it do that in the short and the long term?
Yeah, I spoke with, meteorologists at National Weather Service, and I have done stories in the past, too, with doctors from St. Al's, Dr. Wesley Pidcock, and he always said that while children are usually healthier, they actually can have a harder time in wildfire smoke because they breathe faster. So they're inhaling more of that bad smoke or bad air quality, even though you would think kids are, maybe a little more
healthier,
active,
more resilient,
healthy. So they're a vulnerable group that you may not think of, but you can also just get these fine particles stuck in your lung tissue. That's what meteorologist Jay Breidenbach told me at National Weather Service. So it's just all these different little things, and then of course the common sensitive groups like people with asthma, health conditions. So it can affect anyone.
So it's like smoking without smoking.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow. Interesting. Audie, thank you so much. So we've already heard about your news and weather expertise. Up next, we're going to learn more about your fashion expertise, because as Bronco football season starts, everyone is asking the big question, not about whether or not they're going to make the playoffs, but who are the Broncos wearing? Audie and I have a Bronco Fashion Report next.
Yep.
Welcome back to This Just In. This is my version of what a dumb person thinks a fashion expert looks like. That's an actual fashion expert over there, joined by weather anchor Audi Tackett. Also, though, you have some fashion bona fides, Audie. Yeah.
I do have a little bit of a background in fashion. I did work for Chanel, so I worked for a designer, but I have to say, I think JustIN looks great. Changing it up.
You gave me a grade just on my normal workwear, and you're like, you're playing it safe. I'll give you a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
I'll take it. Maybe this is better. I don't know. Maybe this will be permanent. It won't. Never mind. Okay, so we're reviving an old segment here. The Bronco Fashion Report. Some of you have been calling for it. We don't know if the Broncos are going to make the playoffs, but we will know if they're going to look fabulous in the attempt. We're going to look back first at the uniforms from last year, some of our favorites and least favorites, and then we'll see what they're wearing in the season opener. Andy, let's go to the first outfit. This little number, some people call it the Stormtrooper look. It's all white, helmet, jersey, pants. There's making a bad fashion decision, and then there's not making a fashion decision at all. Audie, that's what this is. A clean look, I guess, but it's a look that's not a look, in my opinion. What do you think?
Yeah, fashion is all about taking risks, having some personality, and this is keeping it safe, keeping it a little too safe, I would say.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a D.
Okay.
What would you give it?
I would agree. D.
Jeez, nice. Sorry, Broncos. We got more outfits, though. The Broncos do this often, going with one color. They wear all blue on the blue for senior day. That's nice. They're not embarrassing themselves here. But, Audie, this is not fashion forward. They're taking no risks. It is what's expected. A safe choice gets them a safer grade. I'm going to give this one a C.
Okay, I like this one better.
Okay.
But I agree it's not a lot of thought behind it. But I have to say the blue is strong. It's a strong color. So I'm going to say I'll give it a B. I like it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
A little I mean, they are big blue, so okay, that makes sense. Again, it's on brand, but it's like there's no thought, there's no risks, but it's good. There's a reason you expect this. All right. Now, being monochromatic can sometimes make a statement, Audie. Like here with their all black look. Love it. It says, you don't know me, but you want to. Classic, but not boring. Black is the new blue. This is one of my favorite looks from an established designer, Nike. This gets an A from me, Audie.
Yeah, I agree. It's hard. Like, it looks tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, the black is really good. I like it.
Fantastic. Okay, is that an A from you as well?
Oh yeah, sorry, A.
No,
Love.
that's fine. People actually want to hear from you on this. You're the actual fashion expert. All right, here's a look that's very much on brand. Blue and orange, but man, Audi. Oh,
No.
I think we agree on this. This does not work for me. It screams
No,
look,
no.
but don't judge, because you'd likely judge me guilty of hosting a PBS children's show. It is time to make it work, but they did not check their watch. They don't know
Yeah.
what time it is. It's bold, but basic. C plus for me on this.
It's way too many colors. You need the sandwich method. The top of your head has to match the bottom of your feet or your body.
Oh, really?
You gotta
Is that an actual
yes.
rule? Okay.
That's like a simple, basic fashion rule to make it match.
This does not do that.
It does not
Also,
do
I'm seeing now the script Broncos on the helmet. I absolutely hate that. It's like there is no thought. That's not a
That's
logo.
like a basic font on Word
Yeah,
document.
it's just a logo. You look like a 3A high school football team. All right, I'm giving that maybe even lower. C minus. Okay.
D.
Whoa, a D
Yeah, I don't.
from Audrielle Tackett.
That's my least favorite so far.
Sorry, Broncos. Well, we'll see. I think that might be your least favorite, but we'll see. You talked about
gosh.
too many colors. You may recognize this next look from the Broncos' playoff appearance last year. It's like they said, hey, we're in the playoffs for the first time ever. Let's put on just all of our favorite pieces. Let's go into the closet, just grab everything we like, put it all on, and not
Yeah.
bother to think if anything works together. It's a hat on a hat on a hat. They are three good hats, I guess. I know it's tradition for them to wear the orange pants.
Is it?
In
Okay.
in big bowl games and big playoff games. More on that in a second. For me, you can barely see the shoes there. Those are blue, I believe, or a black. I'm going to give this a B minus. What do you think?
Okay, yes, this is a little better. It is following the sandwich method if the shoes are blue and the helmet's blue.
Okay.
I thought they had to wear all white for home games. If this is a
Oh,
home
for away games.
Oh, this
so,
is away.
Okay.
Okay.
So, well, yes, technically it's an away game. What they have to do, it's just the jersey. That's the only that's the thing. So
okay.
home team gets to wear their dominant color jersey, and we'll talk more
Gotcha.
about that in a second. If you're away, it can be your off color jersey. For the Broncos,
okay.
it'd be white.
Got it.
But they could do something else with the pants.
Yeah, the pants I think are throwing it off a little bit.
So tell me more about the sandwich method.
Sandwich method,
makes me hungry.
like if you have a black shirt, white pants, then you should have black shoes. That's like
Okay.
an easy matching, well put together fit.
Okay,
Very
gotcha.
basic rule to follow. Anyone can do it.
Okay, but if you're if you don't, and if you're not wearing, say, that black top, you got to wear like a black hat. Would that work? Would that fit?
Yeah, it depends.
Okay.
It depends. And outfits can still work without following the sandwich method. But this
Okay.
is just an easy go-to rule of thumb if you're not sure what to wear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, it was time to make it work. They did not. All right, Audie, this is my favorite look.
Okay.
Coming up right here. We'll see if it's your favorite as well.
Okay.
Blue and white. It is sharp. It is Bronco bold. It's not doing too much. It is not screaming, look at me, because when this fit hits the party, they know all attention is on them. You might not agree, Audie, but for me, this is A++. This is
Yes.
100%. What do you think?
No, I like this. I like how everything is white except the jersey. Even
Yeah.
the gloves, even the socks. I like that. It's the little things. I also like the Bronco on the helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Fantastic. Very bold again.
Statement
And you have to
piece.
think about your environment, where you're going to be, right?
Of
You have to
course.
dress for the occasion. They're going to be on a blue field. So if you're wearing blue on blue, as we see often, you sort of get lost. You blend in. You become a wallflower. That's not the Broncos. That's not your Boise State Broncos. They want to stand out, but of course, classic blue jersey on the blue. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Alrighty. And what would you give this grade-wise?
I'm gonna say A. I like this one.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Maggie O'Mara texting me now with her hot takes on the uniforms. We'll have to, I'll check those later. All right.
Yeah.
Well, and it's like the Bronco equipment, folks. We're listening to this streaming show because look at the season opening outfit right there. They sort of smudged it a little for effect, but you get the idea. They had to reverse the colors of my favorite fit for the away game. Again, we're getting white and blue instead of blue and white. Otherwise, would have been a fashion faux pas. You can't show up wearing blue jerseys to an away game, but it is still, again, white and blue instead of blue and white. For me, A, maybe A minus. I prefer that home look, but you just can't do that on the road. What do you think, Audie?
I like it, and I think that it was intentional to have that kind of aura drifting off from them, which is blue, even though they're wearing white. I think
well done. That's why you're the fashion expert.
Like
Again, look at them.
It was intentional, I think.
They're really aura farming here.
Yes.
Right there.
They are aura farming. Oh, man.
Pretending like I know what that is. Audie does, though. Now, I don't like the fact, and I don't think you see it, the helmet has a different logo on the other side, or just the number.
Oh, okay.
I would prefer it be the logo on either side instead of the number. I understand celebrating individualism, especially in fashion, but yeah. All right. Overall, and again, those white shoes, right?
Yep.
Sandwich.
Works. Mm-hmm.
Sandwiched. Well done. All righty. We might check back in later in the season to give the Broncos a grade. What do you think overall here, Audie?
Overall, I'm going to give it a B+. Yeah.
Fantastic.
It's pretty good.
Same for me. I hate the monochromatic looks, especially the all orange. Looks like they went to a Clemson garage sale. Come on, you're the Broncos. You're blue and orange. Blue first, blue dominant. I'll give it a solid B as well. Audie, thank you for playing along. When we come back, a look at a team that's always making a fashion statement, the Keystone Blue Thunder Marching Band. That's after this. All right, before we get to how you can send questions and comments, let's get to one of our existing viewer comments. This is from Jill Sauter. She said, quote, "I would like to see you highlight the Boise State University marching band. They practice just as much as the football team. They're at every game, and they have so many members that don't get recognized. They rarely get on camera, but the games are delightful because of their music." End quote. There you saw the drill team as well. Jill, the grandma of one of the drum majors, you saw him just there for a second. And Jill, here are some pictures of the Keystone Blue Thunder Marching Band. Credit the band for the photos. We'll try to feature them more as the season goes on. They do amazing work. And how would you grade their fashion, Audie?
I like it. It's making a statement.
It is making a statement. They really don't have much choice. Like, those are the uniforms, the band uniforms. They are very bold, though.
They're confident.
Confident is the word. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All righty. Audie, thank you so much. And thank you, as always, to the Keystone Blue Thunder Marching Band. I could not even dream of doing what you guys do. I tried to learn an instrument a few times, and it was like, nah.
Me
Audie?
neither. I'm not an instrument person, so props to you guys.
But you know everything else. News, weather, fashion, you name it. Audie, congratulations again. Where can people see you during the day on KTVB?
So I will be doing the noon and 4, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Fridays and Saturdays, all the evening shows, 4, 5, 6, 10.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Audrielle Tackett. She does it all. Hey, if you have some questions or comments, maybe you have thoughts about the Broncos fashion, let us know. Even though, again, Audie sort of said it all. Send them to 208-321-5614. Go ahead and text us. Use the hashtag JustIN so I can find it. Appreciate you. We might talk about your questions and comments on the show. See you next time on this Just In on KTVB Plus.